Good morning and welcome to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and everything in between, brought to you by Lotto Land and Cattle. We are at the Mall of Abilene, our Potosi Life studio. Hodge, Misty, Josh on his way here, and we're glad that you're with us. All right, so Misty, how are we doing?
Great. I'm doing great.
All right, so maybe I should know this, but we got a jam-packed show. We've got a familiar voice and a familiar guest this time of year. Katie Alford will be here in a different role, mother-in-law, and so we are going to ask them to ask mother-in-law questions. And then we're going to get a Masters recap from the Drive Chip and Putt. Addie Quick and Sydney Roberts will be here to talk about that. But again, I love the music we play on 106.9, The Country Giant. May's here. Yesterday was May 1st, Kyle King's birthday. Shout out to Kyle with Mulligan's. And you were talking about this, and we're talking about Abilene Gifts coming up later, and trying to do some. What was the May? What was the word? The line May something.
Oh, that I posted yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the Justin Timberlake where it's gonna be May.
All right, so is that a song?
Yeah, it's just like this meme, but yeah, it's gonna be me. But May.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But the way that he sings it sounds like May, and so this has been a meme for her. And so yeah, I
guess that shows I had absolutely no idea what y'all were talking about. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'm gonna. You ever laugh?
Yes, and you have no clue.
You're laughing because everybody else is. That's the way I was at the deal that Grant and Katie spoke at the other day. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be mad.
Whatever. Right? Yeah, and then you're like Googling it. Yeah, but no, that's the Justin Timberlake. So that's why I had to put him on there, with the curly wig for my birthday party. It was that picture. So that's why, looked like he had a little highlight situation because he was wearing a wig.
Well, I guess that was him from your party?
Yes.
Okay.
I just, photoshopped his face onto Justin Timberlake's body.
Well, Justin Timberlake, that's good stuff. And of course, what's the other song? I got Sunshine in My Pocket.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sunshine's coming out hopefully soon, and summer's coming, and a lot of things happening. School winding down. With school winding down in May, we threw it out a bit later on in the show, but spring is such a busy time, and I just threw it out on our Facebook page, kind of our Black Plumbing social media question. Hodgeback listeners, schools, coaches, fans, how many people are still competing in the state playoffs, whether it's summer at the state track meet right now, state golf is happening, state tennis is going on, not state tennis. Tennis is going on, baseball, softball, and so we had a lot of people respond to that post, and we'll read those later. But it's a lot going on. Friends at Jayton, they showed off. They got their state championship football rings. I don't know if you saw those, but those were very. You're going to have to work out just to be sure to hold up that ring. So lots going on, lots happening. Again, Kate Alford will be here a little bit later, talk about Abilene Gibbs, and then Addie Quick. We'll talk about her experience at Masters. And I thought about this, and we'll dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. We talk about football, and Trey Wingo was posting this the other day about on the networks, they're talking about a couple of things, whether it's a radio show or internet or whatever. They're talking about the draft's been over a week, and they're already talking about, for topics, who's going to be the number one pick in 2026. And then and then he talks about the other day that we're going to talk about that's gone internet crazy and become a topic is the 100 men versus one gorilla. And he talked about, in that, he goes, if you listen, this is what the radio shows are talking about. And then he followed up with, we really need football to get here. Yes. But I thought about it, and one of my favorite stretches of the year is March Madness again. We had our bracket, thank you to Fat Matt. Then we rolled into the Masters. But the more I thought about it, it's a busier time of year, not just because of spring sports. It's a busier time really in the sports calendar. It just depends on what you're into.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I mean by that is football is not on the field, but yes, the draft, and we're going to talk about the draft the most, probably the most electrifying, well-executed prank call of probably the last
Forever.
25 years since Roy D. Mercer was doing it for fun, was made, depending on what you like. There's a lot going on because I started thinking about it even on the drive over here. You go from March Madness, you go into the Masters, but then if you like it, and that's the other thing, if you like it, the NBA playoffs are hot and heavy. Up until 2 days ago, the Lakers were in, Luka, LeBron. Are they going to be good enough to win it? All this is happening, but the other thing is you've got that going on through the draft. But even just this weekend alone, if you go into this weekend, the Kentucky Derby's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the other one is the NHL playoffs. And for right now, like last night, and I put this in the deal last week and we didn't get to it. The Stars were playing. They lost last night. They were down 2-0. Was watching it at a place, and then I looked up and they're up 4-2. They end up losing 7-4, which is forcing a game 7. If you're into those things, it's a sports heavy moment right now.
Oh yeah, no. I wish, and I think we've kind of talked about this before. I wish that we were into hockey more than what we really are. Of course, I always catch the highlights, and we love it, right? I mean, that's one of the best phrases in sports, and we've actually talked about that before. But yeah, I'm like, I really only start watching when it is like a push on for hockey.
Well, and the only time I'm going to really watch it is if it's the Stars. Like last night, I paid attention. A buddy of mine, Trace, and Tater, they went to game 5. Went to game 5 the other night in Dallas, and great atmosphere. Everybody I've heard is hockey in person is amazing. Playoff hockey is another level.
Have you ever been to a hockey game in person?
Outside the Aviators, no.
Okay, yeah, so I've never been to a pro game.
I've never been to a Stars game.
Yeah, we need to go.
But they talk about how big it is. So, but if you're into it, there were people all across, probably even in the city, going somewhere to watch the Stars game. But it wasn't their first Stars game. Me, I was paying attention to it because it's Dallas. Hopefully they win, all those things. But when you think about the sporting world right now, it is extremely busy if you're into all of it. Because again, tomorrow, and I've got the list here for those on Facebook Live, you can see it. Got the list, and we'll talk about it. But the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. Mm-hmm. People are going to have their parties. People are going to, obviously, the who's who tomorrow. There'll be a camera showing off all the celebrities that are at the Kentucky Derby because it's a big deal. It really is. We always talk about sports Hades. It's really not there yet. No. Even though the majority of the things that we like, and I like the Rangers, and now that I've got the package where I can watch it on TV for the first time in 3 years, I'm able to watch more Ranger games, which they're struggling. Maybe that's why Josh is delayed. He's having a hard time with that probably because they can't beat Oakland. Is that there is still plenty going on in the sports world. And then in the NFL with the draft schedule release coming up in a couple of weeks, it is still pretty busy.
Yeah, no, it is. I do like this time of year because there are so many sports to watch. But obviously, everybody knows that football to me is king. I love watching football, college football, the NFL, all of it. Give me all the football. And obviously, all of us are pretty heavy football. Josh, of course, baseball. But there's definitely always something to watch right now.
Well, and want to dive into the Lawrence headline report again. Game 7 will be coming up. Dallas loses last night at Colorado, 7-4. Game 7 is coming. Somebody will probably try to find a place to watch it. But I want to talk about this. I was pretty disappointed in Luka going to be traded. And I want to play this bit. Yesterday, again, the LeBron James, Luka, and the Lakers eliminated by the T-Wolves 4-1. First round of the playoffs, 2-12 for LeBron on being in these kind of series. I want to play the post in the season wrap-up press conference and listen to what J.J. Redick says about his team and needing to be in shape. Championship shape, and he says it a couple of times in that press conference. And Misty, we know one of the reasons that Luka was looked at being traded was the situation we have with Luka's size. Needed to be in better shape, was not going to be at the level needed to win a championship. And they lose in the first round, they're done. And do you have a problem with JJ calling out? Because without calling names, he pretty much called out Luka. Do you have a problem with that?
I think it's a little bit too soon. It's like he just got to the Lakers. It's no secret that Luka is not in tip-top shape. So I think the timing maybe is a little too soon with him joining the team. I don't know that I have a problem with it. Maybe the timing of it. He didn't say his name. Obviously, we all know who he's talking about. So I don't really have a problem with it, but would I have it? No, I would not have done it. To me, too soon. He just joined your roster and you're already calling him out. It's just, I probably would not have said that if it was me, even though it is true.
My struggle with it is, and I've said this, what's funny is earlier I called into unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, you got to tell me what you said.
So I called in. So JJ Redick is, at the very beginning when he got the job, they questioned, like, almost did he deserve to have it? And he drops the F-bomb in that press conference. Well, in game four, there was a stretch where he played 5 starters the whole first half. And people were criticizing, how do you not give one? LeBron James, not a huge fan, whatever, but he's 40 years old, and still playing at a championship level and in championship shape. So respect to LeBron. But even at 40 plus and in great shape, and I'm sure you're in great shape and everybody's in great shape. I'm not.
I mean, I could be in better shape.
I'm going to need a breather.
I am a shape.
I'm going to need a breather. And so in all that, I called my problem. And then so he had do you work with your assistants on rotations? Kind of like, do you work with them? Do you talk to them? Or do you just coach on your own? And he kind of got offended by that and storms out of the press conference. So I call into Unsportsmanlike, which I love that show. And I asked them, JJ's doing all this stuff to make sure Luka's in championship shape. I said, is JJ going to work on being more mature for press conferences? Is he going to work on being able to handle those questions?
Of course not.
And so anyway, they took off with it and thought it was funny.
What did you think about the comment?
I don't know if you have to do it in public.
Right. So, but did you have a problem with it?
I wish if you're going to do it, you might as well say, hey, we brought some guys in, and we feel like we've got to find a way to get better, because overall, if you're not playing anymore, you need to get better in everything.
But you wouldn't have specifically called out lack of championship shape. You wouldn't have said that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm sensitive because it's Luka. Maybe I'm sensitive because I still wish Luka was a Maverick, and I don't care. You have a responsibility. Every single one of us, whether come in, we're not going to put you on the air yet, but I know, like, every one of us have a responsibility at our jobs.
Right.
Whether it's the co-op, whether it's a community foundation, a bank, we have a responsibility to do those things. And if we don't, we have mid-year reviews. We have reviews and we get evaluated that you could get better at. And so I'm not saying they don't need to do that here, but I just think how you do it does matter. And Luka does, and that's one thing Michelle Smallman said. I know when you go to break. Michelle Smallman said, as a professional athlete, your responsibility is your body.
Yeah, and we know that this has been a problem for Luca.
And it's the same if you're a lineman, almost like if you're too skinny, are you going to be able to block? If you're too heavy, Zeke had that issue where he got a little fullback issue and needed to do things. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, but again, that's our long. So how long? The Lakers are gone. The question will be all off season: will LeBron come back and play another season? The guy's been playing forever.
Yeah, he'll be 41 in December.
As long as we know. You know who he shares a birthday with, which I always think is cool?
Who?
Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
LeBron and Tiger share the birthday.
What an elite day.
Yeah, what an elite day. And my buddy Bryson. So, all right, when we come back, we'll talk about where you can, if you feel like you need to lose weight or lose some cash and donate it to a good place, we've got a spot for you. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, Katie. Are good. Oh, no, you will be.
It actually works out good.
Well, he's running late.
He had to go.
Oh, hey. There's our guy that waves like 7 times. Every show. He's so sweet. Yeah. The kids this morning or something that normally wouldn't happen, so. Rip decided to wake me up at 4 a.m. So I was like, fun. I'm like, still trying to wake up here because I laid there until I needed to get up. But you know how that is. It's like when your schedule's thrown off, I'm like, oh. Are you working all day or are you playing?
Well, I've got a meeting at First Financial at 8, then 2 attendant play for children, and I went to that. Then 3 lunch with Trish. Then I'm gonna go by Tommy Joe Lindsay's house. She did call yesterday about me going to pick up the check.
Oh, okay. So then I don't need to reach back out to. Okay.
And then I'll get that when I come back, and she usually talks.
Yeah. So you've got a day.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yes.
We didn't home till 10 o'clock last night. Nothing went longer than we thought.
What was it last night?
Hospital Foundation gala. It's a small town.
Yeah.
It was a cool building. It was an old building that's we're all trying to figure out how that just
Right? Yeah.
Well, Elizabeth Miller was really like. But it was good.
That's good.
People had that. I guess his name is Ray John Campbell. And the Campbell's out of Clyde that do like C5.
Yeah.
Get brisket.
I think that's what we had at Operation. I think C5
I think
did
their
it.
whole family.
Yes, I think they
He's
did
also
it.
the community exterminator.
Oh. Well, when you're a small town, that's it. You wear all the hats. Yeah, that's fun.
It was good.
That's good.
Is it alangibbs.org?
Yes. Oh.
Misty plans are all these questions.
I don't know. I'm like,
Did you get a response from them?
yes. It was just basically like, yes, thank you. I was like, yeah, I was gonna actually. Oh, okay.
She just said, thanks, Miss Katie, bless you with all you do, what a job you do, you do it well.
Oh, well,
It was, she didn't.
yeah, like I asked her, do you want it to be anonymous? Like I was going through, and then I sent her the spreadsheet.
Welcome back to the Hodge Facts, sports, life, and everything in between. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment. It's sports, life, and everything in between. We normally highlight a local player, coach, or program. We're going to highlight a lot of schools a little bit later when we get to naming off the teams that are still playing sports. But today we have a familiar guest, been in a couple of times. Majority of the family's been on, honestly, and even more now that the son-in-law's been on. But joining us, the head honcho of the Community Foundation of Abilene, Katie Alford, keep joining us. Katie, appreciate you taking the time. I know your Super Bowl is coming up on Tuesday.
Misty Super Bowl.
Yeah, my seat just got a little hot.
Yeah, what she was talking about, she's like, before the show, she's like, I just can't believe how much goes into it. And it reminds me when we get a new employee at the co-op, when they realize our annual meeting and how much our annual meeting goes and all that is into it. And even when we used to have it at the Civic Center or at the co-op with tables, now we do the drive-through. There's a lot that goes on. And so anyway, I'm sure you're learning all the things that go into it.
Yeah, it was really funny actually on my Facebook memories. I almost screenshotted this and put it in Teams, and it was 7 years ago, and I was sharing a post about Abilene Gives on behalf of Junior Achievement. And so it was just so funny. I saw that and I was like, and now I'm doing this. And so no, I mean, I had no idea. I will be very honest. I had no idea what all went into it. And man, it takes every single person on our team in order to get this done. And it is wild, and it's so much that goes into it that the Community Foundation staff does for our community and our nonprofits.
And so, Katie, how long have you been at the foundation?
I've been at the foundation for 20 years.
And in this role?
No, the first 4 years were finance director, and then since 2009 in this role.
So, of course, Katie and I, we serve on the Military Affairs Committee, and got to fly and ride in the very Cody C-135 to Washington. Hey, but I tried some food and went out on a limb and ate some different stuff, which is a shocker.
It is very shocking.
Because it's funny.
I don't even think I would have eaten what you ate. So.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? I don't even know.
Well, it's funny because I text Katie. She knows, like, when we go to her stuff, what the food's going to be. And so I was very proud that the food that we had at y'all's, the deal that we had this past week is like, I don't have to go to Bueno, because she knows there's a chance I may go to Bueno or Whataburger after some of these events that we go to.
And you even ate a fancy plate there too.
I did. So yeah, I'm growing up.
You are growing up. We're so proud.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So, but Abilene Gives, this is year number 9. And it's kind of, people know that Abilene's a giving community, but really until this day happens, one, how much people give and how many places there are to give.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this year we have a record number of participants at 192.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just crazy to think about, that Abilene has that many organizations. And there are some from outside the city limits, but that's great too because we're regional. But then whenever you look at all the little $10, $25, $50 gifts that add up at the end of the day to make over $2.5 million, that's pretty amazing to see. And we're trying to tell Misty, if you can make it to 8 o'clock on Tuesday, May 6th, that's the most rewarding time of the day, because you really do get to see that what all sweat, blood, and tears you shed over the last few months are going to be worth it, because it is amazing to see how giving and how benefited the nonprofits are going to be at the end of the day.
Now, it's kind of like when your grandparents told you they walked up hillbillies in the snow. How many times do you remind her that it used to be 24 hours?
Yeah, it used to be 24 hours. We used to do some other things that we've kind of taken out. We've tried to operationalize it a little bit more each year to make it easier on our team. And I think this year we took away a few things, but not that we're taking away anything, we're just kind of simplifying some things. I think she's going to find ways to do that herself, and hopefully next year we'll be making it easier on her, and we'll just continue to try to streamline it and operationalize it all.
Yeah, no, it's been great. But yes, I am thankful for the pioneers that walked that road of the 24 hours before my time, because yeah, I couldn't even imagine it being 24 hours. So it's amazing.
And Abilene gives something that will be happening across the country on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. I think it's Give Back America or something. I can't remember what the Give Local or something Tuesday. There are several other community foundations. San Angelo has their San Angelo Gives on the same day. Some other ones have kind of picked other days just to get off of the main day, but there will be a lot of other ones going on the same day. With even our software provider, they're managing a lot of different days for a lot of different organizations and communities.
So really, you talk about, and I'm on a board with NOAA Project. I can say that because they've been on, and talk about how it works. Obviously we were at that deal the other day with Grant, and y'all do more than y'all put on seminars. And anyway, that was fantastic this past week. How does it really work when people start giving, and how does it work to where like the games and all those different opportunities for people that even with, you mentioned $10 that ended up 2 million after it's all said and done. How does it really all work?
Well, and that's, I think, the part that Misty plays ahead of time is a big chunk of that. She's out talking to sponsors and to donors to try to get some prize money up front so that we can incentivize giving throughout the day. Working with our donor advice fund holders to kind of select if they want to through their funds to select their nonprofits. A lot of them do some larger gifts and will do match dollars to where the nonprofit on the backside can say, hey, I've got a donor who's given me a $5,000 match. Every dollar that we receive will be matched 1-for-1. So that kind of incentivizes. So if you had $20, your gift is now going to be $40 with those matches. The prize dollars, which is a whole other thing, there's going to be prizes, I think, every 15 minutes throughout the day. And some of those are matched minutes, so where your gift will match up to $100 no matter what. But then there are other ones where it's, somebody who gets randomly drawn in that 15-minute period. If they made a gift, the organization they gave to will get an extra $1,000. So there are a lot of different ways that we're doing prizes, social media prizes. What do you have, $120,000 in prizes?
Yeah, it's been Abilene community has just really shown up, and it's just been so exciting. And my network that I've been able to leverage as a new employee of the foundation, they have just really supported me and said, we will actually get involved. I don't even know that most of them quite understand it yet, but they love Abilene and they love the community foundation, and I guess they love me, so they're willing to do that. And so it's been great. I mean, we've had over $25,000 in new money that's come in this year, and to go to those prizes. And shout out to Taylor Electric. They have been a long-time supporter of Abilene Gives, and so of course we always appreciate Hodge. But yeah, I've just been blown away, honestly, by the love and support that I've been shown as I've transitioned to my role at the Community Foundation. And so, yeah, I think the staff was like, okay, hold on, like no more prize dollars, because it's a lot on our team, because somebody is managing those prizes on the back end in our platform that we use, and we're doing social media shout outs. And so there is a lot of moving parts every 15 minutes. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great day, but I think our team, we're going to sleep really well Tuesday night because we're going to be exhausted.
It's actually a little hard to go to sleep because you're on this high.
Yeah, you're amped up.
Yeah, you're amped up because you feel good. And I know your listeners are very competitive because they love sports. That's the other fun thing about the day is going to AbileneGives.org throughout the day and watching the leaderboard and watching, how your nonprofit is doing compared to the others. So that's the other fun part of the day.
Well, and you mentioned you're now record 192. Is that because new nonprofits have started, or is it somebody realized they're a nonprofit that could be a part of it?
Both. We are continuously having nonprofits kind of pop up in Abilene or be created, and so we have that. But then we also have ones who may not have participated in the past but saw that others are benefiting, or see that social media that gets hyped up during that day that benefits them. So they kind of say, oh, I want to be a part of this. It's just a combination of both.
Yeah, and the social media prizes have been really fun to see the nonprofits getting very creative, because there's some big dollars on the table for those prizes. I think, best video is like maybe $2,500. I mean, so it's like, if you can get creative, and producing videos is difficult and can be, but just that creative spin on it, there is some ways that they can win.
Well, and I think that's the other deal you see. If you have a passion for kids, adults, teenagers, single moms, I mean, if you've got a passion for something or someone or a category, if you will, there's a nonprofit you can help. Mm-hmm. And I think, and so I'm looking at the website now, again, AvalonGives.org, and 4 days and 27 minutes, and now 26 minutes.
I'm ready. Yeah, once that pep rally's over, we'll be good.
Till it starts. And so I guess that's my encouragement, is to find one. And Katie mentioned that there is a leaderboard, and there's some in that leaderboard that are repeaters that really take pride in it. And I know Casey from the NOAA Project has really been excited about trying to do different things with social media, videos, and all that. And so it gives you an opportunity. I kind of, as a Baptist, I'll say this, you got the cooperative program, and they always talk about if you donate $1 and it shows you where all that dollar goes. Well, you may never be able to go to a mission trip in Africa or a third world country or whatever, but with that $1, you're helping those people. That's what you're doing here. You may not be able to make a donation with a comma involved, but if you do donate it, it's going to be spread out to where comma and maybe even commas become a possibility for the group or the organization you love.
Yeah, and that's the really cool thing, that every dollar that anybody donates goes directly to that organization. Community Foundation is not making anything off of this, so it is 100% of the net donation is going to that organization.
So, and you can go to AvalonGives.org and you can click and find all the nonprofits that are there, and you'll probably be like a lot of us, whether we went through Leadership Abilene or whatever. You've lived here forever, and you go through them, and you're going to find one of those new ones or part of that 192. You're like, wow, what is that? You click and you see what they do, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm giving $10 to there, I'm giving $10 to here, and so you can go do that. Can they start giving now, or does it not start till the 6th?
Yeah, early giving started this past Monday, so they can go on there. You won't see totals yet; that won't populate until 8 o'clock on Tuesday, but you can give early.
And give often.
Give early, give often.
Yeah, you can give as many times as you want.
Absolutely. And I have been talking to people where they're like, oh, my $10 isn't going to make an impact. And I'm like, no, it absolutely does. And I think that's what's so great about Gives. You don't have to give thousands of dollars. Just $10 to your favorite, nonprofit really does go a long way. And so that would be my encouragement to our listeners, is just give where you live, and $10 does make an impact. And so please show up on Tuesday, May 6th.
And you'll find out there'll be where you can give. Okay, Katie, we can't let you leave without this. Again, of course, AvalonGives.org, May 6th. The pep rally and the kickoff will be fun. It always is. Y'all do a great job. Is that open to who?
Just sponsors, donors, and our nonprofits.
Okay, there you go. So they'll be there. I'll be there. How's the mother-in-law life?
Oh, it's great.
How's Dash doing? I mean, we watched one game.
He's doing good. They are actually currently in a series with the Hickory Crawdads through the Texas Rangers affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually leading their division by games. They're doing great on season. I think they've played 24 games so far this year, April, and they're doing good. I think the last time he pitched was maybe last Friday, but it's just he's kind of a reliever, closer, just kind of when you need him.
Right.
But no, he's good. We'll be out there. We'll go next weekend and get to watch him that next week. So hopefully it gets play.
But the mother-in-law, of course, I guess being a distant away, you haven't had to do any mother-in-law things.
No, the hard part is going to be leaving my daughter this week when we move her out there and trusting her into his arms. That's kind of the hard part, I think, about being the parents. Right. Is now gonna letting them live their life and not.
It's almost like she will be officially married next week.
Yes, I know, it's kind of this hybrid, kind of really weird, marriage situation, but no, I think they're ready to be together and they're ready to kind of actually do it.
Right, and try to start some normalcy.
Yeah.
As a ball player's life. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
They know it's not.
Well, how many of them are married on the team?
They're the only ones that are married on
Yeah.
the team. So she'll be the wife to the mom. She's like, oh,
The wife and the mother being the ball
yeah.
player.
Like, I want to make muffins.
You go to bed, you have a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, anyway, well, good deal. Again, appreciate Katie coming on. AvalonGives.org, great opportunity for you to give, impact charities, kids' lives, parents' lives, people all across the big country. And we'll be thinking about you when you have to drop her off next week.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, the draft, and we'll check on Josh. We'll be back right after this.
Yeah, I'm like, where is Josh? Yeah, I know. I'm like, where? We really maybe. I'm like, I feel like he should already be here.
I don't know, that drop-off pickup line. Are you going to do a picture?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I didn't like this one. This usually does work better. Since Josh's long arms aren't here for the selfie, we'll use this. Okay. Let's see. Well, this is funny. This thing is just like in my house because I used it for Colin's parties. And so it actually does do good. We just kind of have to get like right here. You feel like you're like right up on it, but we're where's the timer? Okay, we'll go about that. Ready? Okay, here we go. Okay. Perfect. Yay, there it is. Perfect.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Katie, and I'll see you at some point today.
Are you both all day?
I've got that with Lori, and so that's why I'm leaving early today. Because since that's our last with her, I'm like, I need to be on that call. Okay, so that starts at 9. So, and then ACU, then my morning is kind of like
y'all are meeting up there at 11.
with Omar. So yeah, we'll
Okay,
be.
your event is at there. It's not at your place. The kickoff is at ACU.
Yes. So we.
Because it was always been
Yeah,
at
it's
your
always
place.
been at our place, but that's the ACU. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be bigger.
We need it to.
Particular place that people park.
Yes, I'll send it to you. I'll send you should have already gotten it sent out, but you probably just didn't pay attention to it. So I'll send it again.
Yeah.
But honestly, people are gonna park everywhere.
Yeah, I think they know.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, it's at ACU Wildcat Stadium. Doors open at, oh, there's Josh. Hey, Josh.
Oh, there he is. Hey, we'll look at some.
Yeah, so there are parking lots, but I mean, again, there's probably gonna be around like 225 to 300 people there. Josh, are you okay? Josh.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Did you go to the AYP deal even though you're too old?
Might as well just do it, but first thing.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and Everything in Between. We appreciate Katie joining us as she gets ready for Abilene Gibbs, along with some that you've heard and caught it. But yes, Misty has been at Community Foundation since about October. And so this is her first big event. And so be sure you go to AbileneGives.org and find the nonprofit that you want to give to, where your $10 can make a huge difference in the lives of the community of Abilene and, as Katie mentioned, the big country. So again, one of the things that we didn't get to in our Lawrenceville Headline Report, before we do, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys in their draft and what they did. But happening this weekend is the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, and the leader after round one is Dallas's young Scotty Shepard, 10 under. Just would love to be out there. I'm more of a fan of the Colonial, but again, hopefully Scotty really would love to see Tom Kim, Paul Tesori's guy that he's working for to get better. But that's happening this weekend. And then, of course, Kentucky Derby, we'll talk about that later and what kind of hat you're wearing and all those things. But now we got Hodge, Misty, and Josh is here. Draft is over. Josh, we talked about this on report. It's a busy time when football is going on, and we always joke that we could do a 3-hour show with football. But really deep down, it's still busy even now with all the sports going on. It just depends on if you're a fan of all of them.
Well, right. I mean, there's never really an off season in sports if you're a sports fan. I mean, it's just
Because
I mean, you can. There are times that the only thing really on is basketball, and some people don't do the basketball thing, you know. But
like right now,
in hockey,
right, that's what I'm saying. If you throw in the NFL draft, and obviously the schedule will come out, they're going to do a whole
gotta make a
special on.
huge deal about that.
But let's put that in. We'll put them in. But you have the NBA playoffs, you have the NHL playoffs, and tomorrow you've got the Kentucky Derby. And so if you're into all this and I would consider myself a sports junkie, then it still is a very busy time in sports.
Very much so.
And then you throw in Major League Baseball and now the Savannah Bananas, which I watched on TV for the first time ever. Kind of want to go watch that.
I watched that yesterday too.
I want to go to one of those games.
Yeah. I've got my coworker is going to the one in Round Rock in September. Anyway, so all that to be said, everything's going on. So we want to dive into, and we'll get to Misty's bag probably top of the hour, but we want to dive into this draft thing. The Dallas Cowboys, for the most part, how would you evaluate the Dallas Cowboys draft?
Well, you know, we kind of mentioned it last week when we were talking about just after the first round with the pick of a guard. Which I would say if you lined up a football team by like flashy, sexy positions to least, the guard is probably right above the punter.
Definitely not sexy,
but very important.
But a need.
And that's the thing. Every position is important. And if you're not good anywhere, your team is worse off for it. But especially in interior line play, we talked about that last week. But it's not something that you're not just like, oh man, that's awesome. Like this is wonderful. Even a tackle can kind of get it sometimes, but a guard just really doesn't do it. So that in mind, all the stuff I read past, after draft analysis and everything like that, people were talking about how the Cowboys went into it. Everybody says this. Everybody says this, but they went into it with like, we're not going to be tied to a position. We've got some free agent signings. We have not a lot of like pizzazz with the free agent market, but depth. So that allowed them to not be really chained down to like any position really being off the table in the draft, and know so they could address getting made the best available player that did fit a need, which offensive line did fit a need, and they felt that he was the best player that was available. The one thing that I did read about that was that there was a chance that people thought they could have traded down that pick and still got the same guy. But the Cowboys' defense with that, what their reaction to that was like, we weren't really sure that, yes, we could have a few picks, but you didn't know how many down you could go, and they felt like he was a strong enough pick that they wanted to make sure they got him. So they took him maybe a little earlier than what people generally predicted. But then when you go on down, they got the edge rusher, which was a need, and then a cornerback who was coming back off of injury, but one of those situations that most people say he was a first-round talent prior to the injury.
So the draft, the NFL.com gave the grade of an A-, which probably I would love, and maybe we could do that at the break. I would love to know the last time the Cowboys got an A- on a draft. They graded day one as a B+, but I think what's more important is 2 and 3 were A-. And so they feel like they've done a good job. Now, one of the things they did do is they made sure to draft somebody on the defense with a last name nobody can say.
Right.
I mean, because we've already got Oviduduke, and now we've got Izuku.
I don't even know how to say it.
I'm going to call him Donovan because that's his first name. But I think they did a good job. But now, until you put everything together, they've added a few other non-drafted free agents. They added the receiver holding out of Oregon that was moved in with Bo Nix. So they added some depth there. I think Phil Maffa and Jadon Blue, running backs to the core, is good. You got Miles Sanders, who's kind of in that older range, and you got Javonte Williams. So I thought they did a good job. A-, but now you got to see, just like J.J. Redick, first-year head coach, what are you going to do with it? So we'll see from there. But we cannot talk about the draft without talking about the phone call that was made.
Heard across the world.
Shadiriously, on how the farthest, you want to talk about Tom Petty free falling from number one, possibly in some people's eyes, first round, second round. It's kind of like our liner that we have when we come into baseball.
Yeah.
Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4, clearing the bases. Doesn't get drafted till way late, 5th round.
Yeah.
144th pick. They traded up. I still don't get.
I don't get that.
But
they already picked Dylan Gabriel, so it's like you got a second quarterback.
Don't they have like 5 now?
They have 5.
It's crazy.
Just go on a rotation. Maybe they'll figure something out.
It's like baseball. Hey, you'll pitch every 5th Sunday.
Hey, maybe they're onto something. We don't know.
All right. So right now,
you don't know which quarterback's going to start this week.
This is what's hilarious. This is what's hilarious. So ESPN.com depth chart. Quarterbacks, Cleveland Browns. Number 1, Deshaun Watson with a Q next to it. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. Shadur is not even on this. And so let's talk about the prank call. He gets the call from Coach Yobrick's son, who was the interim head coach at the Jets, now is the defensive coordinator, and calls Shadur and pranks. It's all now. Coach Yobrick has been fined $100,000. The Falcons been fined $250,000 in a day where caller ID is rampant and very obvious. To pull off a prank call of this magnitude, pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, I was actually about that. I mean, you have ID, but if you're a player or your number gets out there, people do call you to talk about things on draft days, the part of that process, and you see that all the time. So I can see him answering the phone, not knowing exactly.
Yeah, just being excited.
Well, my understanding, he had one separate phone number that nobody should know except if you're calling me,
right?
Like on Joey McGuire, sniff and sugar.
Yeah, it's like the burner phone.
Yeah. But I mean, everybody goes back to Aaron Rodgers, and he finally got drafted number 21. But
yeah, he still went in the first round.
I know, but that's my point. It was so bad that it went till Saturday, not Thursday, not Friday, it's Saturday.
Right, and days before the draft, the general consensus was he was going to go to Cleveland, but at number 2.
And they thought maybe they would be on the same team, Travis Hunter and Shadur. And then they got Shaduriously serious and traded the pick away to Jacksonville to get a boatload of picks and not take the generational talent. And now you got Shadur. And so how would you handle that? I mean, your boys have done some stuff that, and I'm sure Collins has too.
Yeah, and Ethan.
Done
some questionable things.
How do you handle that?
Well, that would be a rough one because that's not only just like, first of all, the kid's 21. I mean, like he's an adult. And then,
can you be arrested for word assault?
well, I mean,
I mean, like the kid or not, like, come on. I mean, was it the best, most epic prank call ever? Probably yes. But like, come on. Like to me, I'm not gonna lie. I felt for him in that moment of it being this. Because I'm like, this is such a huge moment. And I was thinking like, if that was my son, who's very close to his age, like, dang, I don't know. Maybe it's just the softy parent in me, but man, don't do that. Like, again, was it epic? And it will go down in history. Absolutely. But like the timing and the moment of, with all the hype, I was just like, oh gosh,
and that's my thing.
I'm thinking from the aspect of the Falcons coach, who's like his son's like I said, he's an adult,
right?
And did something that's like not just some like, yes, you think it's a stupid prank, and kids do stupid pranks, but like an absolute betrayal of like the trust inside your household. Like,
oh yeah, there's like, so many layers to this thing.
It's like worse than stealing all the stuff out of the liquor cabinet. Like,
oh, yeah.
like just absolute, just your major embarrassment. And you talk about this all the time. Your information security. You got to lock your computer, have the multi-authentication.
Browsers matter.
Like
Browsers
all of that.
Matter.
You don't usually think about that being important when you're like working from home, sitting on your couch.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess you can't trust your own son.
Did you love it? Did you hate it? What are we thinking about it, Hodge? I feel like you maybe loved it. Look at this smirk.
No.
Yes, look at him.
It's funny.
It was, but I don't know.
It's a combination of tough, like funny, but funny, like, and all these people that are anti-Shadur and you're getting this because of your dad, all these things. The kid had a pretty good career.
It's overblown. That's the problem
Yeah.
that most people have. It's not that he's bad. It's just he is overblown.
Yeah,
He's probably not. He's not an A+. He's more of a B+ quarterback. And my struggle with it is like this kid's is.
Everybody was.
I knew he was going to get drafted. It was just a matter of when. But then it also becomes, and you've seen this before with like Colin Kaepernick and Tim Tebow for completely different reasons. But and Shadur's in a different reason also, but fits into the mold of those two guys. Of saying like, if you think he's good enough to be your backup quarterback, and maybe even be like a decent backup quarterback, is it worth all the other stuff that would come with it, and like I said, you saw that with Kaepernick and Tebow. Generally, collectively, the NFL decided, nope, it's not worth it. Even though they might have been a better backup than the backup they had.
The circus that has the potential to come with all three of those is different for each one.
Right, it's a completely different thing, but at the same time, it's the same in the fact that, like, as a team, you're like, all right, we got to get a backup quarterback. We got to choose between these guys. Physically, we think this one might be the best, but
we'll deep down, and we got to go to break because we're doing Missy's bag next. But what's crazy is you can go bet right now on make a bet, and we can look that up, I guess, in the break if we were betting state. who starts week 1. Will it be Joe Flacco? Will it be Kenny Pickett? Will it be Dylan Gabriel? Will it be Shadur? Who knows? But the draft is over. The schedule will be next. And most people want to know what day, what Sunday, what night will Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs become the AT&T. When we come back, we'll open up Misty's bag.
Hello. How are y'all? Good.
Think Sydney remembered?
I just think if that's one of your boys though that gets that call, it's a totally different feeling. That's not an epic prank call to you're
Joe,
pissed.
I've got another one.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if she'll use it or not. Last time I don't think she did.
Oh, really?
I just think you would handle it. We would handle it way differently because obviously we have emotion tied to it.
But my thing was, I thought about it.
But it was really epic.
I didn't even think about it from
But
the
they pulled it
aspect
off.
of like Shadur being my son. I just thought about it from the aspect of like, if the prank caller was one of my sons.
Yeah. See, I thought like both ways.
Right.
I would just be like.
That's what I'm saying. Because I could see Barrett or Luke doing that to me and say, Hodge, you've been selected to go to Augusta National.
Yeah.
This is so-and-so from, this is Bill Ridley.
But there's an epic troll.
I mean, yeah, but after all the dust settles and the feelings go away, it's like, oh my gosh, you pulled that off. I mean, it is wild. I mean, I've had some conversations like that with my son of like, it was not funny at the time. Now that we're a couple of years past it, we can talk about it and laugh about it, but too soon, I don't know.
But see, all the stuff with Shadur that also bothers
I'm
me.
just getting soft in my old age.
Like Dion saying, if his name wasn't Sanders, there wouldn't be any controversy about him like getting his number retired. And I'm just like, no, his number would not be retired if his last name
Exactly,
wasn't
yes.
Sanders.
And that's, I think, was my point the week before when we talked about that. Yeah, that's the only reason it's even on the table, because of his last name.
Because what did they really accomplish at Colorado? They turned the program around. They won some games.
Right. That, I think that's the.
But they didn't win any big games.
We check to see if that's still going. That is true. They did not do that. It's what?
Not going. That's an issue.
It is time for hour number 2, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. Head over there and Coleman County State Bank. They'll get you taken care of, and all the things mortgage. Reach out to Tammy, and she will get you taken care of. And so all those mortgage needs, she is the person to go to. Josh, are you excited about the Kentucky Derby? Have you looked into it much?
I'm chewing, so that was too late during the break, but I'm always excited about it. We got baseball stuff going on during it, so I'm not really happy about that.
Well, I understand, but ColemanBank.com for all your needs, especially in the mortgage department, they'll get you taken care of. Now it is time for Misty's bag.
I cannot start this segment without giving a shout out. We gave him one. I'm going to give him another. Yesterday was Kyle King's 40th birthday. So now he is in our club. And I just have to give a shout out. I don't know if you saw, Josh, the meme that I posted with Kyle's face on the Justin Timberlake "It's Gonna Be May" meme. It was epic.
I have not. I'm gonna have to look that up.
It was epic, and it may or may not be blown up and in the dining room at Mulligan's now. So I'll have to show you it, but it is amazing. So yeah, shout out to Kyle for his birthday, and also their family lost their Meemaw this week. So we want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers as they grieve the loss of their sweet Meemaw. All right, here we go. So this one's going to start out a little sad, but it's going to get better. So
last week was violence. This week is sad.
what?
I feel bad for Addie. She may have to answer this question now.
She could. All right, here we go. So you just passed away, and you are allowed to be.
The sad part, or?
That's a sad part.
Okay.
I would be, yeah. I mean, I'd be happy for y'all because you'd go to heaven,
I'm
but I would
I'm
miss
not
you
making
guys.
Addie answer this question.
I'd be sad. So, and you are allowed to be reborn, but not as a human. What do you want to be?
I'm gonna let you.
He's stumped.
I was first last week.
Some sort of animal?
I punched Greg Norman first.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know.
It's time to go to a break.
I love when y'all get, this is the point of the
Well, it's just
Misty's
like,
bag.
This is a weird question, because if I was an animal, I'd have to think about, like, you know, what kind of existence you have and how much someone would want to shoot me.
I mean, yeah, this
But there is no
why.
more dying in heaven. No more dying, no more pain, no more tears.
Yes. Let's see. I'm thinking of a lot of ways that you could go with this, because I could be some sort of, like, I don't know, apex predator, you know, and like then like try to like inflict harm on people. I don't know why that might be fun.
But
Or,
then-
like a bear to attack people in the woods.
But
Or-
since- but
Or
since-
just like, raw.
Yeah.
That's it. Just,
But since
Hey,
there's
I'm a cuddly bear.
yeah, you are a cuddly bear.
But
but if there's no pain, no tears, and all that in heaven, it'd be like,
so
but it wouldn't really hurt.
But are we an animal in heaven?
No, we are, no.
You're like back on Earth.
You're,
Oh.
you're reborn back. You're back on Earth.
Oh,
We switched.
Yeah.
We switched to Hinduism, I think.
yeah, we've left Christianity for
But,
coming back to be a cow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you get to
I don't
pick.
think I want to be a cow. Or
Okay,
You would go straight to the slaughterhouse.
yeah.
but this is dumb. Okay, you come back as a mosquito, get booed, and then you go back and you keep coming back to something else.
Well, yeah, you just get swatted immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Mosquito would be terrible.
it'd be annoying.
Yeah.
That's what I guess I'd have like multiple ways that I could go about that.
Agile fly, and you never got annoyed, but you could bounce on somebody's nose every time and come into their food and be quick.
Yes, now that would be a funny one. Just pester people as a fly, but be quick enough that they could never slap you.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm done. I'm done now.
He's stealing yours.
No, I brought it up as
You
a
brought it
mosquito.
up. I
Yeah,
actually
he
thought
did.
about that because there's nothing more annoying, and it seems to only happen to me with like a random Sunday afternoon that I'm like trying to like just kind of chill on the couch. You kind of watch some baseball. You might kind of in and out of being in a state of you're not really asleep, kind of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and a fly lands on you, and you like swat it away. And you can just get back to being comfortable, and then it lands on you again. Have y'all ever been in that
Oh,
scenario?
yes.
Like-
It's
like-
the worst. Or a
and-
gnat.
and yes, and it's just like, what?
Yes,
You
100%.
can't-
The
you
gnat
cannot-
got me
you can't
yesterday.
Stop it. It just keeps on messing with you.
Literally
Like,
yesterday.
It
got
ends
me.
up being the most,
I was
Flies
like,
in your nose and then all of that. You know,
Yes.
it's just like
fourth grade, Miss Kelso, unfortunately, she was teaching in like a fly, like she had perfect timing, talking, and the fly went in her mouth. I'll never forget that.
ew, that just gave me
Uh,
chills. Like, ugh.
But yeah, I think a fly would be kind of comical.
Would you pester people that you didn't like, or like your own family?
oh no,
I would want to.
Like, are all of the above?
I pester like anyone that I could. Like some days I might pester out of just like hatred or revenge. Other days I might pester out of just like I'll get a kick out of this.
But I tell you the other thing. But I want to be able to talk like in Dr. Doolittle, because I want to be able to like, miss me, miss me.
Oh my gosh, that would be like a big horsefly.
Just land in their ear and then talk to them.
Right. Just be like, hey, and then they would try to slap themselves and just, they would try to hit me as the fly and get rid of me.
And he'd keep
and,
laughing.
and they would slap themselves in the face with a golden.
So that would have been a whole
I
comedy
love
routine.
it.
Maybe
I love it.
maybe hit me with a golden pea stick, which you can get down the road over here. But
Remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Last week.
but yeah, I think if I came back as a fly of that, I think I would just kind of do that little buzz around a little bit and like and talk, not talk trash, but then people that you just drove you crazy, 100%.
Oh, you could drive
But-
the
but-
Eagles crazy.
But then I would just randomly make it a comedy deal, like, hey, you done? Dinner all right? I just regurgitated, or whatever they say, under your mashed potatoes.
Ugh, gross.
Isn't that what they say that you do?
I guess, I don't know.
I think that's what they say when
That
they
the fly
land.
lands?
It does a little something,
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
leaves you a present every
Yeah.
time.
Well, so that, yes, so that would be funny. The other thing that I was thinking about
Or
is
come back
just
as a tree and do the same thing.
a tree, talk to people. You couldn't move though. That would be.
I know, I need to move.
But I would.
You
Now,
could.
the other thing I thought about this when I said about being a bear that would like attack people in the woods, but like just some sort of like and it could be any sort of animal that would like be, because a bear's not around here, but maybe like a coyote or like a raccoon or something. It just like scare people constantly.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna go with this. Sorry, and I want to, like I did last week with our wrestling moves, and people loved it. And thank God I'm not wearing wrestling tights today. But like the mountain lion that apparently every once in a while somebody sees in Buffalo Gap.
Yes.
Like I want to be that. Like
Linger.
Well, that's what I was thinking about.
the
Just
photo
like-
off that. Oh wow, I finally got a shot of that because my brother lives in McKinney, and he had one in Frisco. It was in Frisco. This huge bobcat that was apparently in the backyard. That I want to be that guy. I want to be that thing. Like I want to be noticed and shocked that they saw me. And
Kind of like Bigfoot. Is that capable? Could I just be
What about
Bigfoot?
the snake? Was it the snake a few years ago, or what was it that we talked about? It
the
was,
cobra,
Oh, the cobra.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
the
big.
cobra in Grand
and
Prairie.
it had its own
that
Facebook
that
and
saved-
Twitter.
and that saved Rona.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to that snake?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look it up.
But yeah, so that's a good one because yes, there are always those things that like it shows up on someone's like deer cam, the mountain lion, or someone claims that they saw it across the road in front of them as they were driving, but no one's
And then-
ever actually seen it.
And then did they Photoshop it?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
you don't know, but I'm thinking like I would want to sneak around, and like a mountain lion's probably better than a coyote, but a coyote would work also, and then just like wait for people to be like walking to their car, so it's still a little dark in the morning, and then just scare the
Bejesus.
pee right out of them.
Yeah. There you go.
Like you
So-
don't even have to do anything. You just run by.
God,
Like
y'all
run
are
What- what are you
mean.
as
doing?
you're trying to get you just think about this. It's kind of dark. You walk out of your garage.
Scary.
You're opening the door, and then just like out of nowhere, just any animal just like runs by you. Like you would freak out.
Yeah.
What would you
I'm
think?
thinking like a panda. Like I can
Well,
just eat
pandas
all
are-
day, and I'm cute, and everybody
And if you
wants
get plump,
to talk to
nobody
me.
cares.
Yeah, like
If you become the Luca panda,
yeah,
nobody cares.
right. Like everybody thinks I'm cute and cuddly, and I can eat all day and just rot around the zoo or wherever I am.
I don't want to be in the zoo. I want to be on about.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'll go with panda.
All right, you're going panda. I'm going fly, the occasional mountain lion. You're going bear and coyote.
Yeah.
All right. So since we're on animals, 100 men versus a gorilla. Does the gorilla make it out? I mean, all I picture is Liam. Is it Liam Neeson that's in Taken? And
Yes,
Like 75 years old, but beating everybody up in a
Yeah.
crowded room.
he's amazing.
Is that what's happening, or 100 men go in, 100 don't come out, but also the gorilla goes down?
I think that maybe what you just said.
You sent that text, and I'm just like, what on earth?
It's
Well,
very
some-
much Misty's bag.
Mr. Beast or somebody posted this hypothetical situation, and next thing you know, it's blown up and become something that not only us, unsportsmanlike, all these other people are talking about. I don't, see- a guy last night said,
all this social trend.
well, some guy last night said, I think just the sure, if all of them, like if there are 100 of me, the gorilla probably wins.
Yeah, it depends
Well,
on the men.
I was trying to think about this when you like, as people do, you got to sit and think about what the layout of this arena is. If it's just like like a basketball gym, where are these people fighting?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the
If it's
setting.
in a jungle, like with trees and stuff, there's no way the gorilla would like
Outsmart them all.
oh yeah, just like this guy could get away. And then, and then if there's like in a small area of trees and the gorilla could get in the trees and then come down they could just pick off the people as they went. But if it's like just like a arena and they're all out in one big arena, then maybe the gorilla could get, this is the stupidest thing I've ever talked about.
But
that's
this is
saying a lot.
Misty's bag.
Hey, I type in 100 men and Google finishes it for me.
Okay.
Versus one gorilla.
But the other thing I was thinking about is if you're like, how many men can actually try to fight the gorilla at one time? Like if you all go running in and like get a big dog pile, like, what are you punching it? I mean, I don't know.
This is from USA Today. Who would win in a fight between 100 men and one gorilla? The internet has been taking bets and debating all week, but they go out and ask experts about how this social media question has just taken off. I don't know. I think he would rip off arms and And by the time he got to man number 4, the other 96 are probably saying, "I'm out."
Well, that's
how
well,
about
that's
a
what I think.
I got that with that shout out high school lady. We get that going.
That's how I would think, because 100 people can't fight one gorilla at one time. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, there's just you physically. I mean, you couldn't do it.
It reminds me of the ninja and like the ducks and the horse.
Yeah,
Remember,
whatever.
we've had similar questions like this.
But yeah, I think it'd be crazy. I don't know, but
A duck-sized
horse.
Yeah. So
Or
see,
1,000-sized duck babies or something.
Yeah, horse-sized duck.
it was such a weird question, but just like this, same thing.
Well, again, Misty, last week we were punching people. This week we're coming back and annoying people. No telling what we may be doing next week to people. But I know one thing: we're not going to go find 97 friends to take out a gorilla.
No.
No, not at all. But you can head to Mulligan's this
I would
weekend,
definitely hang in the back and wait for everyone else to get their skulls bashed.
like a dodgeball. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys are out. I'm still in.
Just stand at the back, maybe get one ball to block the other ones, but never really try. Fake somebody out. Yeah.
But one
Remember,
thing
I'm going cute and cuddly.
Yeah.
I'm not in this game.
Yeah, but one of the things you can do is you're not going to take out 100 gorillas, but you can this weekend go take out 100 tater cakes or 100 cheese curds at Mulligan's.
Tater cakes. Ooh.
Could you do that?
I couldn't do it.
Not well. Over.
I mean, I could, but not in one
Over
like
no,
sitting.
Yeah.
You would be kegging out for sure. When we come back, we'll have a second version of our Big Country Electric My Town segment as we hear what it's like being on the driving range, being on the 18th green, and being at Augusta National. Our drive, chip, and putt champion or finalist is back in studio. We'll be back right after this.
All right. Okay. Hi. Oh man. Okay. Let's do a quick picture.
Oh, do you want to take it? Okay, I'm gonna be in it. I think last time you were like, no.
Okay, let's get a quick pic over here before everybody. Come on in, Josh. All right. I'll put y'all in the middle here. This is adorable. Oh my
I think that we
gosh.
could match.
Oh my gosh, I love
I
that.
got this too.
That's so cute. Thank you. Perfect.
All right, y'all take whichever seat you want.
Perfect. It's so cute. Okay. Great. Here.
Had some stuff come up yesterday, Addie, so I never go by Crumble, so, but I did reach out to them and they didn't take me very serious, so we're gonna have to make that happen. I was like, can we get this girl some Crumble before she goes to Augusta?
No kidding.
Oh, that's a good thing to come back with. What am I looking at? I do have if you need a sausage and biscuit one if you want it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, told you, Joe. There you go. You got one. He goes, you get one for Sydney? It's like, yeah, but I don't think she ate it last time. I think she'll. All right, what am I looking for? I want to see. Let's see what this is. Need to hire a producer. That's what I'll do. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Got a meeting that I've got to get to, so I will listen in the car. Good luck. You're gonna do great. See y'all.
Bye, Josh. All right, let's do.
So when we come back, all right, I'm trying to figure this out. Where Katie was sitting. Move your mic down. Kind of make it where it's not. Tilt it. Just like take that down. Do this. There you go. Just trying to get a good. All of us want good camera angles. Okay. Dropping pin. We'll just talk about the experience, what it was like, all those things. Simple questions. How much of Monday did you get to see? Y'all got rained out.
An hour and a half, and then they just.
3, find it. Welcome back to the Hodgepodge. That is Jim Nance on the call as Rory makes the putt on the 18th green where this next lady was at, and finally won and completed the Grand Slam, the only sixth person to do so. Rory McIlroy winning Masters 2025, the 89th Masters. Be curious to see what he picks for his dinner. But joining us in studio, we asked him if we could get a recap, and they are back. Again, another segment of our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Co-op, highlighting a local player coach program. We appreciate Sarah and Will and all the linemen and all the people that work at Big Country for the support of the Hodgepodge and KOGD. But joining us, Addie Quick and Sydney Roberts are back with us. So how are we doing? Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
All right, good deal. So Rory won it. Pretty exciting. I was kind of glad he won it. He got it off his back. From a golf fan, as a golf professional, what was your reaction, Rory, finally doing it?
I think it was time. I think, bless his heart, he needed that pressure off of him. I think the pressure and the expectation of the Grand Slam more than winning the Masters was hanging over him. And so he was finally able to push through and do that. And you could see after he finished just the relief on his face of the emotion poured out.
Absolutely. The dam broke, if you will, and just overflowed. And Tracy said she was home watching it, and I was watching it with Sides and Josh, and just the overflow, like people were crying because the emotion that he showed. Yeah. And not only did he win it in the fashion that he won. Yeah. I mean, you're winning it. Hey, I've got this thing, and all of a sudden, oh no, people are coming, and I'm falling back. Bryson's gone, and then you got this guy named Justin Rose who has made 10 birdies on a Sunday, and you're like, you normally win games, you normally win tournaments doing this. Yeah. And then the way that it ended was just, it was pretty fantastic. Yeah. And now it opens up a whole window of now, who is the next that needs to win a major? Who's the next? And so it was lot of fun, and it was great to see. What was your thoughts of Rory winning, Addie?
I thought that could be me someday, and seeing him win on the 18th green, I felt good because I putted on that same green.
Right, yeah, you did. And who knows, you may be a week before the Masters one day in the amateur deal that they have there, which has become it's almost become, again, the Masters is the Masters.
Yeah.
But the ticket and the want to be there to see the history being made by those ladies
Yeah.
is almost not taken over Masters Week, but it's almost become the kickoff to Masters Week.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about, I want to talk about me, which is Toby Keith's song. So, Addie, you got to go. You and Sydney and your family got to go to Augusta National. What was it like? So, when did y'all get there? Did y'all get there Saturday? When did you get to get on property? Y'all didn't get to go down Magnolia Lane, did you? Oh, wow.
We did. We did.
So, y'all went down Magnolia Lane. Now, that is pretty amazing. That is something that these guys talk about all the time, getting to do. And we saw the video where one of the security guards had to stop Jack Nicholas and made him show his badge, which is funny.
That's funny.
So what was it like going down Magnolia Lane?
I love seeing the magnolia trees. I liked how the flowers there.
Colors pop at Augusta, don't they?
Yeah.
So y'all came down the bus? Is that what y'all were in for the bus?
Yeah, they took a shuttle. We rode a shuttle from the hotel, and it was cool. No one was in front of us. We got the empty view of just driving down.
So did y'all go on that Sunday morning to competition? Is that when y'all went?
Yes.
Okay. So when you get there, what was it like checking in? I mean, what was the whole experience when you get to Augusta and you get off the bus and you're going to the hallowed grounds of Augusta National?
Well, I was very excited to see how green the grass was. I was pretty nervous, seeing all those people behind me hitting my first drive.
Yeah. Was that the most people that has ever seen you hit a golf ball?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, and not counting the millions of people watching it like myself on TV that morning as well. So you get there and you got all these people and you put the peg in the ground and hit that first drive. What was that like? Almost kind of maybe a relief. What was it like?
Yeah. After I hit that first drive, I thought I was pretty good myself, so I kind of just calmed down and hit the second drive.
Yeah, and did a good job. Both of them were in the play, right?
Yes.
What was that like for you? I mean, you can go every year.
Yeah.
But going every year and going in the way you went this year, it's got to be different.
Absolutely. I got access with Addie more than I would have just being a PGA.
So where could you go? Where were you able to go?
I mean, we were on the range. I wasn't out there with her, but we were in the stands on the range. We were standing on 18, basically on the fringe. I mean, you just got closer than you ever could, and I mean, they made those kids feel like rock stars, I think. And I just walked along and supported her. So it was awesome.
So what was it like being treated like a rock star? What were some of the things that they did for you that you thought was really special?
They let us eat in the Founders Club.
What did y'all have? Pimento cheese sandwiches?
I had pimento cheese sandwiches. They were pretty good on a scale of 1 to 10. I would give them an 8.5.
Okay, there you go. That's big. Did you do the egg salad too?
No.
Yeah, me neither. So I wouldn't have either. I didn't either. When I went, I tried the pimento cheese because it was one of those you had to have. And so what did you guys got to do?
We got to meet the player that won the women's amateur.
Oh, cool. Spaniard, right? Yeah, from Spain. Yeah.
She plays at K-State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You met Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, I did.
How was that? I mean, like how was that meeting? Was it shaking her hand, or did you get to talk to her much, or what was that like?
I got to talk to her a little bit, and then I shook her hand.
And Mike Tirico.
All right,
Yes.
Okay, so all right. Mike Tirico is one of those guys that he used to be on ESPN and he went to NBC and now, but Mike Tirico is one of those guys that I want to figure out a way to get on the show because he seems like one of the most calm, just chilled out people ever. And so you got to meet Mike. What was that like?
Well, I got to take a picture with him.
All right, so maybe I need
loved
you.
it.
I need to figure out to get Addie's agent to get in touch with Mike Tirico through the picture. We need to get Mike on. So you got to meet Carla Bernat Escuder. That's the amateur. I knew I'd butcher that name. So you got to play. You got to meet these people. Did you get to see Scotty? Did you see
Yes.
Scotty?
We saw him hit off the tee really close.
He was teeing off on one on Sunday with his mom.
Oh yeah, because he talked about getting to play around with his mom. Yeah.
So we saw them, Tom Watson,
Okay.
Bill Zalatoris. That was all on Sunday. They were all just hanging out. Turn around, there's Tom Watson standing there on the playing green.
Right.
I got to see Minwoo Lee. He gave me a high five.
Oh, there you go. Here's the thing, and I know we have a lot of download, subscribe, rate, review, like all you listeners. You're going to be a fan of Minwoo Lee now. You're going to say, hey, good, I hope he does well. But just by doing the little things nice to people, one of the things that Scott Van Pelt said, and this kind of stuck with me, he was on the Marty Smith podcast, For Please Now Driving. And Marty was interviewing Scott Van Pelt and was talking about being there and his dad and all these things. And he said, treat superstars like normal people and treat normal people like superstars. And when you do that, you start realizing how much that difference makes. So, how did you feel? All right, so you putted, you did all things, you got to putt on the 18th green. I've only met you twice now, here and there, or the last time you were on. And I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to let you answer it if you want to, or a reaction of Sydney, and maybe what your dad's reaction is. You're competitive.
Yes.
Yes, very competitive. And so I've got a feeling how would you rate yourself on your drive, chip, and putt experience at Augusta? You can this is a tough question.
Just to be honest, probably a 7.
Okay, a 7, that's good. But I'm going to tell you this, just by watching you and your reaction and your competitiveness, you're going to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell. She's like, I'm coming back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming back to this. I want to come back to Augusta, nothing else. But I'm going to compete. And so what have you done since? What have you done? Have you practiced? Have we got golf tournaments coming up?
I've played about 2 golf tournaments. I played in a U.S. Kids tournament. I played in a medalist tour. And then now I'm trying to go to Pinehurst now.
Nice. Now, what's the Pinehurst route? Is that Nota Begay or what's the Pinehurst route?
Pinehurst is like...
Oh, it's an amazing course. It's like they play the U.S. Open. So how do you get there for that?
You have to play like a lot of tournaments to get your status.
Okay.
And so the more tournaments you play and the more top 3s you get, the more like chance you have of getting invited.
Okay, cool. So that's pretty awesome. So how much stuff did you bring back? How much souvenir stuff did you bring back?
Well, I brought about 2 gnomes, actually 4 counting the 2 little ones. Salt and pepper shaker gnomes.
Okay.
I brought back some shirts. Lots of hats.
So what are we'll have to get your dad to send me a picture of the gnomes. And I can compare with what Tracy got our gnomes because I'm a gnome guy. That's awesome that you got gnomes. The salt and pepper gnomes, I'm anxious to see those.
Yeah, it says salt and pepper on the back as like it's like dressed up as a caddy, and it says salt and pepper.
That's pretty cool. What about you? Did you load up?
I did.
Nice.
I did.
Yeah. Sydney was nice enough to hook me up with some stuff. So I was like, hey, remember I told you people sending money? I was like, hey, Sydney, here's some money. Because I've been, and so it's not like I'm living vicariously. I am living vicariously, but I've been, so it's pretty cool. So what's next? So when's the next tournament?
It is Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, right away. All right. So One more thing before we go. If I were to set up now, I'm a 10-5 handicap, so I'm not domination. If I were to set up a round with me, you, and Sydney, would you play golf with me?
Yes, I would very much.
You in on that?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then trust me, you can give me any pointers you feel like you can give. If last question for both of you, what was your biggest memory you'll take away from this year's Augusta trip?
Probably the merchandise and getting to see Scottish Shepherd
Wow.
and how green it was too.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah, no.
Driving down Magnolia
There
Lane.
you
Good,
go.
yeah, there you go.
I was gonna say driving down Magnolia Lane with Abby, but we took a picture in front of the clubhouse. So just the normal picture, but her and I standing there, it was pretty surreal, and I'll never forget.
Right.
So glad I got to go with this girl. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so, hey, keep competing, keep getting better, don't settle. And we hope to, in April of 2026, to be talking to you about you going back. And we'll get on those sponsors, especially the one that involves eating.
Get you some cookies.
We'll work on getting you some cookies. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Again, that's Addie and Sydney. Fresh coming off of Augusta. The PGA Championship would be the next major. Will Jordan be able to finish the Grand Slam at Quail Hollow? We'll see. When we come back, baseball, the Rangers are struggling. We'll check and see if Josh is okay about it. We'll be back right after this.
Good job, Julie.
Good job, especially with didn't send you the questions or nothing.
Okay. So I have something.
Oh, thank you.
Aww.
Here, well, can I get a picture? Oh, thank you. Oh, you got you got your phone? Yeah. Here, we'll take a picture. Thank you for doing that. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll get a tea time. We'll play. We'll make it force so that way you can get back there with me. Very good. Thank you guys. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, I was like, I'm not wearing a color shirt today. I'm gonna wear my matching shirt.
And I will have your stuff at the south. Are you playing tomorrow?
I'm trying to build all that.
I'll just bring it to the south.
Will you see if, because the only time I can think I'll use was during the Noah project last Thursday. Is that pilot umbrellas there?
Yeah.
It's just red, white, and white.
Yeah.
Just take care of them,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just-
Thank you.
I'll just bring it today.
No.
Like,
Well, it worked out well because, Katie, we had a couple segments run over, and so it worked out perfect, because Missy had that meeting, so it worked out perfect, so. Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe. See you then. All right, I need water, I need commissioners. Thought it was supposed to be raining this morning. I did too. You need water? Yes, that'd be great. We are back on the Country Giant, and thank you to Addie and Sydney for coming in. Addie hooked me up with a Masters flag. Show our listeners. I appreciate Addie sending that with me, coming up and presenting that. That was pretty cool. We posted on our Facebook page before we get to Major League Baseball to give Josh a little more time to think about the Rangers and all that. But I posted on our Facebook page, hey, Hodgepack listeners and schools, our Black Plumbing social media question of the week. If you have students competing in state level playoffs, let us know about it. And so you guys were great. Holly has boys baseball, boys track, boys golf, and tennis still playing. Kristen Klutz posted Gym Ed Lady Indians are headed to the state track meet. That's happening, now. Wendy Quintanilla posted in sports related, but Eli Patton is UI academic state qualifier. Congratulations to Eli. Erica Roby track put Camden Loomis, Callie Hernandez, and Lily Benson. We had playing golf for Cisco. Jenna Lee Woods put her daughter's competing in golf. Her name is Jake Lee Wood in golf. Coach Powell out at Wiley, baseball, softball. One young man going to state in track. And of course, you got state golf happening as well, and several tennis still people playing. Sweetwater Mustangs, our baseball team's in the playoffs. Girls just went to state in golf. They were runners up. And a discus thrower going, Blackwell Hornets. Kinley Cummings, again, Holly, Coach Abel's posting that. So lots going on. Brindley Too Good, ACHS girls are heading that way as well. Tons of folks. Just a busy time.
Very busy.
Derek Hood posted on our Facebook, Brownwood High School Lady Lions winning the 4A Girls State Championship. So congratulations to all those that are continuing to do well in their endeavors. And always thought it was interesting with spring sports, especially with baseball and softball, you could have graduation and still be in school on the baseball team.
Right. Very much so. You got to play all the way into June, hopefully, so.
And Wiley winning yesterday, and they'll keep going. Lots happening. Hamlin's still playing baseball. So lots going on. But it is time for our First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger MLB report. And Josh, we'll start with the Rangers. Had this thrown out today. Uncle Billy watching there in Aledo. How about the Rangers sending Berger down to AAA, Round Rock? Well, Rangers first place to 3 games out. Could be more after this weekend. A's. Old Paul said there was a thorn in his side. The A's have been the thorn in the side of the Rangers.
Yes, it's not been a good last couple weeks. There have been 2 flashes really where the offense came alive and scored a lot of runs, and then they just go straight back to not. It's concerning. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. When the unusual circumstance for us as longtime fans, I remember the good old days when the Rangers used to score a ton of runs, but the other team just scored more.
Like we were the greatest show on turf.
Right. And now it's the opposite. It's like we're watching games that are 2-1, 2-0, 3-2. One got out of hand the other day that was tied going into the 9th, and the A's ended up hitting a grand slam and really ruining the evening for myself. But we're just not used to this constant state of pitchers' duels, living on the edge with just trying to scrap in runs, and really it's been maddening to watch. When you have 11 hits in a game and score 2 runs.
Yeah.
11 hits and 4 walks and score 2 runs. It's like we're not. So just in general,
it's like you're getting in the red zone, but you can't score.
Right. That's exactly what it is. And so, like in general, you see these people, players on the team that you look at and think, all right, they like Marcus Simeon's showing some life. Leody Taveras is suddenly hitting very well. Josh Young's had a good season so far. And Josh Smith is the same. And there's some people that obviously have struggled. Jock Peterson, the aforementioned Jake Berger, which when he got sent down, I was like, he's been in the majors for like 3 years. I didn't know he still had an option to be sent down, but apparently he did. And then, Adolis Garcia is kind of like in and out of, flailing at pitches, but then when he hits the ball, it's very hard. If you're a baseball nerd like me, go to Baseball Savant. That's it shows the all of the stats as far as like the more deep stats and hard hit rates, barrel rates, those type of things, and they have these slider bars. Adolis Garcia's good part of the hard hit rate, exit velocity, barrels, expected on base, whatever, plus I don't know. There's a bunch of stats. I can't even remember all of them. But he's all over in the red, like all in the red. But then you go
red is good.
Red is good. It's like 0 to 100. He's in the 90s plus on all of those. But then you go to the bottom part, and it has chase rate, whiff rate. Just you're swinging at bad pitches and missing pitches in the zone. So those are ice cold blue. So it's like it's kind of hard to understand, hard to see that it's like when he makes contact, he's extremely good, but then he's extremely good at not making contact. So
so when you look at this, one of the things they talk about in football is it takes a little bit for the offense to get going, and defense is a little bit easier because you kind of know where to need to be, and you just go tackle, go wrap up, go tackle. And you look here at the Rangers, they're 16, 3 games out. The Mariners are coming to town, so you have an opportunity to make up some ground with first place. The fact that pitching is doing, I guess, air quote, its job.
Very much so.
Is it one of those deals, and I know we say it every week, there's no need to panic, a lot of games, all that you feel like that is something that will kick in, that the offense eventually does kick in and get rolling? Because I think you would be more disappointing if you were scoring a lot of runs and not winning because your pitching was bad.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. The notion that the offense will come around is easier for me to believe than seeing bad pitching and think the pitching will come around. That's just in general. We've got track records on this team offensively. We still have Corey Seager to come back off his automatic just like trip to the disabled list for a pulled hamstring. Evan Carter is still building up and getting back going, and Round Rock, he has started to hit pretty well, so I will expect him to be back up pretty soon. So like there's things that are going to help the offense, and like I said, just the people that are up here that are kind of struggling, especially Peterson, Simeon, and Garcia. They have the type of track records that you're like, all right, this is going to balance out, and 90% of the time, this is how it works. When someone's in a slow start, you get to September, and they're who their baseball card says they are.
Well, it's like there's people out there, you're listening now, that allergies hit, and you could almost mark it on your calendar in this month. Every year at this time, I get a cold, or I get strep, I get whatever. And then it passes and I'm fine. That's kind of where the Rangers offense is. And
yes, but now we're switched into May, so it's time to start something happening, or then you become the Dennis Green.
You are who they say they are.
Yeah,
we are who they say they are.
They are who they said they are, or who they thought they are, or whatever that quote was. But because eventually it's like, all right, you got to start doing something, or this is who you are. And I still have the hope that will be the case. The great thing about it, that when you go through a stretch like this, everybody goes through a stretch like this in baseball. Everybody has a 10-game stretch that they lose more than they win. It happens. You just hope that it happens and you can get out of it before you're buried, and they're not buried.
Well, so that's the Rangers. Now let's move to the MLB talk. And I posted this because a guy that's been on the show and may come in and do some summer stuff with us, Andy Penny, sent me a text that said, if me and you got a few buddies, we would win about as many or just 4 games less than me.
Yeah, like if we just put together a baseball team and Major League Baseball let us play out the schedule, we would only be 4 games worse than the Rockies. Which is, it's incredible how poorly the Rockies are playing.
Yeah, his exact was, do you realize if MLB let me and you and some buddies put a team together and play in the league this year, we'd only be 4 games back. And so I started looking like, well, maybe it's not that bad. And sure enough, they were 4-25. And I guess they hurt us because they're on a 2-game winning streak and now have won 6 games. But in the same breath, the team that lost 121 last year, the Chicago White Sox, are only 2 games ahead of the Rockies and have won 8 games.
And they won a few right off the first of the year that everyone was like, kind of like, oh, they're on such a different pace than they were last year, but then they fell right back into it. And they're a bad team. And that the Rockies, it's crazy to think about. You think about in baseball, they always the old saying is there's 3/3. Like you're going to win a third of your games, you're going to lose a third of your games, and it's what you do with that other third is what makes the difference between a good team and a bad team. But these teams are so bad that that's not even going to happen.
No.
Because if you think about 160 games in a season, everybody out there, and this is the thing that is hard to contemplate, when you actually sit and think about it. When you look at the major league roster of the worst team in the major leagues, whether that's the Rockies or the White Sox, the worst teams that have ever been fielded, they got 25, 26 guys now on that team that are legends in their hometown.
Oh, no doubt.
That are there's statues of them at their high school. They're the best player that people at the coffee shop are still talking about what that guy did.
We knew they were going to be this good.
Yeah.
And
yet they're up there and against other major league talent, and the difference between the cream of the crop and the rest is just so spectacular. But everybody out there is a good player. Everyone is top of their profession. So you're going to luck into some wins. But even then, the Rockies are
the Rockies are very rocky at the moment. When we come back, we'll send you to the weekend, the Kentucky Derby. Who's going to win it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long that went off earlier. It's, if there's like a timeout or something, like,
I need to ask Greg.
because it just, but it doesn't seem to stop at exactly the same time.
Every week.
Yeah.
That tune means one thing, and it is Derby weekend, 151st running at Churchill Downs this weekend. People will get the hats, people will get the seersucker suits, the mint juleps, all the things as they get ready for the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Josh, it's one of those deals that a lot of people, it will be the who's who tomorrow. There will be a camera. There will be trying to, all the job is to find how many famous people are there.
Yes. It's, you know, it's quite the event. We've talked about it for years. It's something that we want to go to, and it's you know, first of all, it's expensive. Second of all, it's at a very busy time of the year, so it's something that hasn't worked out for the Hodgepodge yet, but that's a yet.
Oh,
you know,
it is. I mean, it's one of those bucket lists that Tracy and I have, and it's, you know, I enjoy horse racing. I mean, you know, throw a couple bucks in or whatever, but
oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily care so much about the betting part of it, but I do enjoy the wall that goes into it, even if you're at Ruidoso.
Well, right.
But when you look at this, the Kentucky Derby is kind of like you have the Preakness and you have the other events, the Belmont, but the Kentucky Derby is the Masters.
Yes, it is.
It's the one everybody wants to go to. It's the one that comes with the pageantry, if you will, and known for the mint julep, known for the pimento cheese sandwich. It's the Masters of horse racing.
Very much so. And as you mentioned, it's one of those bucket list who's who things, you know, that just, it's crammed full of people and everybody has to dress in the proper attire and, you know, do the whole.
Would you do the seersucker suit?
Well, I mean, if I'm going to go, I probably have to find one.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, you wear cargo shorts, you know, but.
And apparently there's like a big porta potty run thing that happens out there. I guess the not higher end beats or something like that. But I do want to go, and so talk about some. I guess some of the big news of this week is Bobby Baffert being back after a 3-year ban. Has Citizens Bull in it, 17-1 odds on the to win the race. It's always interesting. It's the most electrifying 2 minutes in sports.
Yes, I mean, it's really incredible because, you know, there's, as you mentioned, like you go to Ruidoso or Lone Star Park, you know, and that's something that I haven't done in a while, but used to be things that I would do every so often because it's just kind of fun. You know, you look at the horses. I've never been one to put anything more than just a minimum bet on a horse. You know, like it's $2 and you know, you could go out there with, you know, $10 or $20 and hopefully you leave with a few dimes in your pockets because you seem to always win dimes.
Right.
And you know, you go out there and just kind of have some fun. When you watch it on TV, you know, all of that other stuff that goes into it, you don't really see all the other races and stuff generally. You know, you just wait for the Kentucky Derby, you know, the culmination of all of it, and then it's over in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And so Citizens Bull, I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on that horse because of Bobby Baffert. Journalism is getting a lot of talk.
That is the favorite.
Baez or Baeza there was a horse named Rodriguez got moved in Baeza to 51. So would you, if you went, would you just throw a couple at the longest shot or?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, and this is generally the plan that I've always done with when I've bet on horses. It's a minimum bet. I pick some long shot to show, you know, because if they just show, you're gonna get some you know, some scratch back. And then I kind of read about jockey performance in the little handout, you know, and kind of make semi-uneducated guess on one of the favorites, and then my general plan is two per race, $2 a piece, and my goal is to set my budget at, you know, like I said, like $20 for the entire day, because I'm a high roller, and then if I run out of my $20, I'm done. So my goal is to just make it through the day and not lose my $20.
Yeah, I mean, that would be me. All right, I'm going to go through. I got 20 seconds. Here's the horses. Citizens Bull, Nyokos, Final Gambit, American Promise, Admire Daytona, Luxor Cafe, Journalism, Burnham Square, Grande, Flying Mohawk, East Avenue, Publisher, Tistastic, Render Judgment, Cold Battle, Sandman Sovereignty, Chunk of Gold, Owen Almighty, and Baeza. Who will win the 151st Kentucky Derby? We'll let you know. We'll find
Put my
out.
money on Sandman if I was going to do it.
There you go. Sandman, give me a dream. When we come back, we'll be back next week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the Derby.